Why do we procrastinate? In 1830, the writer Victor Hugo was in trouble. He'd signed a contract for a new book, taken the advance, and then done what he did best: nothing. For months. He went to parties, he worked on other projects. He found 1,000 reasons not to write the one book he was being paid to write. Finally, his publisher lost patience and gave him a brutal deadline. About 6 months, or he'd owe a fortune he didn't have. So Hugo did something desperate. He took all of his clothes, every coat, every shirt, every pair of shoes, and he had them locked away and hidden so that he had nothing to wear but a large grey shawl. He literally could not get dressed to leave the house. Trapped, half naked, with nowhere to go and nothing to do but write, he wrote. And a few months later, ahead of schedule, he finished one of the most famous novels ever written, The Hunchback of Notre-Dame. Now here's the question. Victor Hugo was a genius. He knew exactly what he had to do. He wanted to do it. And still, the only way he could make himself work was to physically trap himself in a room. Why? Why is it so hard to do the thing we've already decided we want to do? Why do we procrastinate? Here's the thing nobody tells you. Procrastination has almost nothing to do with laziness, and it has almost nothing to do with time management, because if it were about time management, then handing someone a to-do list and a calendar would fix it. It doesn't. Chronic procrastinators know exactly what they should do and exactly how to do it, and they still don't. The problem was never the schedule. The problem is something happening much deeper in the part of your brain that handles feelings. Because here's what procrastination actually is. It's not a time problem, it's a mood problem. Think about the last thing you put off. Really think about it. Odds are, the task made you feel something unpleasant. Maybe it was boring, maybe it was confusing, and you were afraid of looking stupid. Maybe it mattered so much you were terrified of doing it badly. Whatever it was, the task carried a little cloud of negative emotion, and the moment you turned away from it, that cloud lifted. You felt better, instantly. That's the key that unlocks everything. Procrastination is emotion regulation. It's your brain reaching for the fastest possible way to feel better right now, by escaping the thing that feels bad. You open a new tab, you check your phone, you suddenly, urgently need to clean the kitchen. You are not avoiding work, you are avoiding a feeling, and your brain is extremely good at this because of a battle happening inside your skull. On one side, you have the prefrontal cortex. It's the newest, most sophisticated part of your brain. The planner. It thinks about the future, sets goals, and knows that finishing that report today will make tomorrow better. On the other side, you have the limbic system, an older, deeper, more emotional set of structures that cares about one thing only: how you feel right now. It wants comfort, and it wants it immediately. And when those two collide, future reward versus present comfort, the limbic system usually wins. It's faster, it's louder, and it's been running the show far longer in our evolution. Your planner says, we should start. Your limbic system says, but that feels bad, and look, here's a video of a cat. Guess who wins? This is made worse by a glitch in how we see time. Psychologists call it present bias. We wildly overvalue rewards that are close and undervalue rewards that are far away. A good feeling now is worth more to your brain than a much bigger reward next week. And there's a strange twist to this. Brain scans show that when you think about your future self, the you who'll have to deal with the consequences, your brain lights up almost as if you're thinking about a completely different person, a stranger. So when you procrastinate, you're not really hurting yourself. You're dumping the work on some other guy, future you. And who cares about that guy? But here's the part that turns procrastination from a bad habit into a trap. Every time you avoid the task and feel that hit of relief, your brain quietly logs it as a reward. Avoiding felt good, and your brain learns at a deep level that dodging this task is how you make the bad feeling go away. So next time, the pull to avoid is even stronger. Procrastination isn't a one-time failure. It's a habit you are actively training, one relief at a time. And it gets darker because of what comes next. When you finally look back at the thing you didn't do, you feel guilt, shame. You call yourself lazy, undisciplined, a failure, and you'd think that guilt would push you to do better. But it does the exact opposite, because now the task isn't just boring or scary anymore. It's wrapped in a thick layer of shame. It feels even worse to look at. So what do you do with something that feels bad? You avoid it. The guilt feeds the procrastination that caused the guilt, around and around. This is the loop that keeps people stuck for years. So how do you break it? Here's where it gets counterintuitive. For decades, the advice was, try harder, more discipline, more willpower, better apps, better planners, color-coded schedules. But if procrastination is an emotion problem, then attacking it with time management tools is like trying to fix a broken leg with a to-do list. You're aiming at the wrong target. The real lever is the feeling, and the research here is genuinely surprising. Studies have found that students who forgave themselves for procrastinating, who dropped the shame and simply accepted that they'd messed up, procrastinated less on the next task. Not more, less. Self-compassion does what guilt never could. When you stop making yourself feel terrible, the task loses its extra layer of dread, and it becomes easier to start. And starting is the whole game. Because of one more quirk of the mind, most of the pain of a dreaded task is felt before you begin, not during. Once you're actually a few minutes in, the anxiety usually fades. So the trick isn't to motivate yourself to finish, it's to lower the bar to start, so low it's almost silly, not write the report. Just open the document and write one ugly sentence. You're not trying to win. You're just trying to sneak past the guard at the door. So, why do we procrastinate? Let's pull it together. 1. Procrastination isn't laziness or bad time management. It's emotion regulation, escaping a task that makes you feel something bad. 2. In the moment, your emotional brain, which wants relief now, overpowers your planning brain, which cares about later, helped along by the fact that your future self feels like a stranger. 3. Every escape rewards the habit, and the guilt afterward makes the task feel worse. Feeding a loop, the way out isn't more shame. It's self-forgiveness, and shrinking the task until starting is easy. Which brings us back to Victor Hugo, naked in a room, wrapped in a shawl. Look at what he actually did. He didn't find more willpower. He didn't buy a better planner. He changed his situation so that avoiding the work became harder than doing it. He made the escape impossible. He hid his own clothes from himself. Because that's the real secret hiding inside procrastination. The problem was never that you're lazy. You're not. You're just a person with a very old, very emotional brain that's desperate to feel okay right now, and a future self it treats like a stranger. Once you understand that, you stop fighting your willpower, and you start gently working with your feelings instead. So the next time you catch yourself cleaning the kitchen to avoid something that actually matters, don't reach for guilt. Just ask yourself one honest question. What feeling am I running from? And then take the smallest possible step toward it. Because you don't have to hide your clothes. You just have to open the door a crack. If this made you understand your own brain a little better, hit subscribe. It's the whole reason videos like this get made. And drop a comment with a why question that's been living rent-free in your head. The best ones become the next video. And be honest, how many times did you almost close this video to go do something else? Don't read this. Go watch it.